I am very excited to welcome our next guest to the Damage Report, candidate for the Democratic nomination for the presidency in 2020, author, activist, and spiritual advisor, Marianne Williamson. Welcome to the Damage Report.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for talking with us today. So, look, I've read a lot about your past. You've been an activist on a number of different issues. You've written many books, and you've also been a political candidate. So this time around, why the presidency? Why are you pursuing the Democratic nomination?
I think we have to have a very real conversation about what's going on in this country. And by real, I mean more fiercely honest and authentic and true about the deeper dynamics of corporatism, of racial inequality, of the way we're neglecting millions of children, of the way that we prepare for war at the expense of waging peace. All of these things are actually a peril to our democracy. And if all we do is present as an option a better version of same old, number one, I don't think that that will defeat the president. And secondly, even if it were to defeat the president, it wouldn't stave off the huge opponents, oppositional forces to real democratic values that will be back big time in 22 and 24. We need to present, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, continue.
Well, we need to present the American people with a genuine option to corporatism, and a kind of establishment left is not a genuine opposition to corporatism. We need to actually have a deeper conversation about what is wrong. You can't just fix things. You have to transform things. America has to take a deep look at our own character defects. America has to take a deep look. The American people has to take a deep look at where we have swerved from our democratic values, where our government is in an unholy alliance with an economic system that puts stockholder values before advocacy, not only for our democracy, but for our people, for the people of the world, and for the planet itself. And just kind of sort of fixing things and incremental approaches, and you change an issue here or you change an issue there, is simply watering the leaves. It's not watering the roots. And it's too late for that. So I want to present the American people with an option to actually be an antidote to all the things that have gone wrong by doing things profoundly right. We can't just ignore that millions of American children live in chronic trauma. We can't just ignore the fact that there's an underlying racial tension underneath that needs to be addressed with a plan of reparations for slavery. And we can't just ignore the fact that we have a national defense agenda that has nothing to do with planning for peace 50 years from now, but rather just puts corporate profits for huge military contractors before a path of genuine peace creation. We need to give the American people at least the option of choosing a vision which is more than just cosmetic change, but actually would move us into a different place.
Okay, well, on a number of the issues that you just talked about there, you are certainly speaking my language. But obviously there's a lot of competition. There are many candidates running, and each of the candidates, I've talked to a couple, want this race to be about a certain number of different things. In terms of specific policies, if everything went your way, what are the specific issues that this primary would be decided on?
Number one, I would have a U.S. Department of Children and Youth. We have millions of American children who go to school every day in schools that don't even have the adequate school supplies to teach a child to read. And if a child cannot read by the age of 8, the chances of high school graduation are drastically decreased, and the chances of incarceration are drastically increased. We have simply normalized the despair of these children. This is a humanitarian crisis in our midst. We are collectively neglecting them. So that's number one, the U.S. Department of Children and Youth, in order to coordinate the information as well as the problem solving having to do with the extraordinary trauma and despair of these children. Number two, I want a plan of reparations. Germany has paid $89 billion to Jewish organizations since World War II, and I understand the moral force that is expressed when reparations are paid. This has gone far towards achieving reconciliation between Germany and the Jews of Europe, Germany and the rest of Europe. And a plan of reparations for slavery is long overdue in order to address an issue of economic restitution that has still not been made. And number three, we need to recognize that peace creation, we must wage peace as effectively as we prepare for war. War is the absence of peace. Peace is not the absence of war. We need not only a robust partnership between the State Department, expanding economic opportunities for women, expanding educational opportunities for children, reducing violence against women, and ameliorating unnecessary human suffering wherever possible. That must be given equal weight to our efforts, and appropriate efforts, to make sure we're prepared for war. And we need a United States Department of Peace as well to address peace creation issues on a domestic level.
Thank you very much for watching this clip from the Damage Report. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell on YouTube to get notifications of our new videos. And of course, you can catch the full Damage Report live every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on TYT Network on YouTube TV.